Hello, hello. I'm back with another story. Today's story is called Freedom Summer. Freedom, when things are free. The story, if we were talking about genre or what type of book it is, what type of story, as we go along, we'll see it's considered what we call historical fiction. When you have historical, you hear that word history in there. So you know that the story is taking place back in a time when something important was happening in history. Fiction means that it's not true. So the author tells us that she made up the story based on things that she knows about that happened in history. So Deborah Wiles is my author. Jerome Langergrew is the illustrator. And our story starts, brand new book. I had to buy a new copy because my other one had been used so much. So this is a fresh new copy of Freedom Summer. What page is this? Title page. Author, illustrator, publisher that makes the book. Here we go. This part here, the dedication pages here, this tells a little bit about the history and how things were during this time. I would say this story takes place just around the time when Dr. Martin Luther King is giving his speeches, telling people that things need to be more fair and laws are changing. Things are changing in town. Remember, though, with changes, sometimes people get a little nervous. And so you have to kind of work with what the people are thinking. And it's not always fair. And it wasn't fair, but things are getting better as years go by. Here we go. John Henry Waddle is my best friend. This is John Henry and his mama. Here's who's telling the story. His mama works for my mama. Her name is Annie Mae. Every morning at 8 o'clock, Annie Mae steps off the county bus and walks up the long hill to my house. If it's summer, John Henry is stepping it right beside her. He gets so excited because he gets to see John Henry in the summer. Now, during the school year, they go to different schools, even if they live very close, because their color is different, the color of their skin. We like to help Annie Mae. We shell butter beans, we sweep the front porch, we let the cats in, then chase the cats out of the house until Annie Mae says, "Oh, shoo, enough of you two, go play." We shoot marbles in the dirt until we're too hot to be alive. Then we yell, "Last one in's a rotten egg," and run straight for Fiddler's Creek. That's an old saying, last one in's a rotten egg. Rotten eggs smell really bad. Nobody wants to be a rotten egg, so everybody runs as fast as they can. John Henry swims better than anybody I know. He crawls like a catfish, blows bubbles like a swamp monster, but he doesn't swim in the town pool with me. He's not allowed. So we dam up the creek with rocks and sticks to make a swimming spot, then holler and jump in wearing only our skin. Do you like the pictures here? It's a different way to tell a story. I mean, if you think of all the colors individually, you wouldn't think that you'd be making up a nice painting. But it doesn't take away from the story. I like the way they did that. The illustrator did that. John Henry's skin is the color of brown butter. He smells like pine needles after a good rain. My skin is the color of the pale moths that dance around the porch light at night. John Henry says I smell like a just-washed sock. "Oh, this means war," I shout. We churn the water into a white hurricane and laugh until our sides hurt. Then we float on our backs and spout like whales. "I'm going to be a fireman when I grow up," I say. "Me too," says John Henry. So these two boys, they like to do the same things. They like to play the same games. They love to swim. They even want to be the same thing when they grow up. Not much different in them, is it? Other than the color of their skin. I have 2 nickels for ice popsicles. So we put on our clothes and walk to town. John Henry doesn't come with me through the front door of the store of Mr. Mason's general store. He's not allowed. "How you doing, young Joe?" asks Mr. Mason. He winks and says, "You gonna eat those all by yourself?" My heart does a quick beat. I got one for a friend, I say, and scoot out the door. Yes, sirree, it's mighty hot out there, Mr. Mason calls after me. I love ice pops, says John Henry. Me too, I say. Why do you think that John Henry got so worried about, or Joe got so worried about buying 2 popsicles? He kind of got nervous, didn't he, when Mr. Mason asked him? Truth is, some store owners didn't even want to sell, even though they were getting the money. They wouldn't sell to people of a different color. And so Joe just got a little worried that he wouldn't be able to buy them if Mr. Mason knew. Annie Mae makes dinner for my family every night. She creams the corn and rolls the biscuits. Daddy stirs his iced tea and says, "The town pool opens tomorrow to everybody under the sun, no matter what color." That's the new law, Mama tells me. She heaps my plate with peas and says, "It's the way it's going to be now, everybody together." Lunch counters, restrooms, drinking fountains too. I wiggle in my chair like a doodlebug. I gotta be excused, I shout, and I run into the kitchen to tell John Henry. Why do you think he's so excited? Everything. He'll be able to go with John Henry to the movies now together, to the pool, into the store. He's so excited. I'm gonna swim in the town pool, he hollers. Is it deep? Oh, real deep, I tell him. And the water's so clear, you can jump to the bottom and open your eyes and still see. Oh, let's be the first ones there, says John Henry. I'll bring my good luck nickel and we can dive for it. So they're very excited to go to the pool tomorrow. It's the first time. Next morning, as soon as the sun peeks into the sky, here comes my best friend, John Henry Waddle, running to meet me. "Let's go," he yells. "I got my nickel." And I run right with him, all the way to the town swimming pool. We race each other over the last hill and we stop. County dump trucks are here. They grind and back up to the empty pool. Workers rake steaming asphalt into the hole where sparkling clean water used to be. One of them is John Henry's big brother, Will Rogers. He starts to call to him, "What happened?" But he sees us first and points back down the road. It means get on home. So the pool was supposed to have water in it, but they drained it out and they're putting hot black tar in it like you'd use to make a road. And John Henry's brother is very mad, but he has a job to do because he works for the county and has to do what they say. Why do you think that they're putting tar into the pool? It's going to be ruined. No one's going to be able to swim in it. Why do you think they're doing that all of a sudden? It's the middle of summer. People want to swim. But our feet feel stuck. We can't budge. So we hunker down in the tall weeds and watch all morning until the pool is filled with hot, spongy tar. Smoky steam rises in the air. Workers tie planks, it's pieces of wood, to their shoes and stomp on the blacktop to make it smooth. Will Rogers heaves his shovel into the back of the empty truck and climbs up with the other workers. His face is like a storm cloud, and I know this job has made him angry. "Let's go," Boss Man shouts, and the truck slams down the road. Sometimes when people are afraid of change, they do drastic things or things that are really big that they don't really need to do. So at this point, the people of somebody in the town that runs the government decided that if black people are going to be able to go into that pool with the white people, they're not going to have that. So they're just going to ruin it, fill it up, and now nobody can use the pool. What do you think would have been a better idea? Yeah. Why couldn't they all try to get along and use the pool together before they did something so drastic, so big? It's so quiet now we can hear the breeze whisper through the grass. We sit on the diving board and stare at the tops of the silver ladders sticking from the tar, sticking out. My heart beats hard in my chest. John Henry's voice shakes. White folks don't want colored folks in their pool. You're wrong, John Henry, I say, but I know he's right. Let's go back to Fiddler's Creek, I say. I didn't want to swim in this old pool anyway. I think Joe's just as mad as John Henry. John Henry's eyes fill up with angry tears. I did, he said. I wanted to swim in this pool. I wanted to do everything you can do. I don't know what to say, but as we walk back to town, my head starts to pop with new ideas. I want to go to the Dairy Dip with John Henry, sit down and share a root beer float. I want to go to the Big Picture Show, buy popcorn and watch the movie together. I want to see this town with John Henry's eyes. So he wants his friend to be able to go to all these places. He doesn't understand why. Why are people being this way? We stop in front of Mr. Mason's store. I jam my hands into my pockets. My fingers close around 2 nickels. Want to get an ice pop? John Henry wipes his eyes and takes a breath. I want to pick it out myself. I swallow hard and my heart says yes. Let's do that, I say. I give John Henry one of my nickels. He shakes his head. No, I got my own. We look at each other. Then we walked through the front door together. It's a big change from when John Henry was just there the other day with Joe, and Joe didn't want to go into Mr. Mason's store. But Joe realizes the only way change is going to happen is if somebody starts. And so with him walking into the store and showing that his best friend, John Henry, is just as good to buy a popsicle as he is, that's going to be the start of a change. And so there were a lot of people that Dr. Martin Luther King taught to let's make a change, let's be fair, let's all be friends, because it really is silly to think that just because of the color of your skin that we are that different and things shouldn't be fair. They definitely should be fair, just in as much as if we said people with dark color hair or light color hair could or could not do things. That would be silly. I hope you enjoyed my story today, Freedom Summer, and we'll talk to you soon, and enjoy Dr. Martin Luther King Day, and do something kind for somebody. Bye.